when we talk about societal progress and we are connecting it with ourselves, I think it's a very, very simple way to look at it. But how simple is it? Can we actually be so confident as to say that when we grow and when we develop ourselves, we affect the society in a positive way to grow too? But the moment a certain clarity comes into the picture, the whole scenario changes. And it all starts with the belief. And it also doesn't make a difference whether you are being continuously motivated. Just that factor alone will not make a difference. That helps, of course, but that need not make a difference. So it starts with the belief. It's the belief that helps us to make a change in the behavior. How habits changed is interesting, because the moment you start realizing that your belief has to be pushed forward by your behavior, you start removing all the unnecessary time-wasting habits you have in a day. You become a lot more conscious about time management. So that is where your habits undergo a transformation. Now, after habits comes the actions. It becomes a lot more simpler, because then you start moving something like clockwork. That certain toxicity in relationships can also guide us to what we need to be guided into. That any time when something is not perhaps met, it also affects the others. I think you're so spot on, Sandhya, because when the self-esteem needs, when that level gets affected, and when that got affected, it also questioned my sense of security.
Yes.
It also questioned my sense of awareness about where I am.
Yes.
So I think, it actually brings in a lot more clarity to what you are in life and where you are placed in life. And I think that is which dawned to me. And of course, once you are also on your path of realizing yourself and realizing your potential, that is when you start truly becoming more aware about how can you help others. What do you say, Agnieszka? Do you think it can affect the levels earlier, which you have crossed?
That I think that some authors said that hierarchy of needs of Maslow, it's sometimes named theory of motivation. But I agree with you that this theory of motivation is for conscious people, because it's like you said, we look something beyond. We have to satisfy our needs, but with a high level of consciousness. Sometimes people don't understand and do satisfy their needs in a natural way. But I think that when we understand this theory as a theory of motivation, we have to need a good level of consciousness.
Maslow's self-actualization theory is all about becoming the best version of oneself. And I think that is something which, it is a journey. And for this journey, we have to also understand that it may be impacting people at different levels in a very, very, in their own unique way. For example, for some, the highest peak in terms of self-actualization, maybe they want to be a parent. They might want to be a good parent according to their terminology. That could be what they see as the tip of that triangle. Self-awareness is something which, the moment we become very conscious about, it changes our world. It changes our life. We are able to share. The best thing is also through personal development, we are able to learn from the world and from others. That's the other thing. Now, when you look at how does personal development affect our life, that is, number one would be the mental impact. It definitely makes us a lot more aware about what's the meaning that we are looking at in our life. Toastmasters is a non-profit making organization which is based in US, and it was started by Dr. Ralph Smedley, and it was created to promote leadership and communication skills, initially for young men. Yes, Toastmasters International was started, or rather originally just for men. And then, of course, women also were welcome to be part of the organization. Spiritual connectivity doesn't mean that you have to believe in any known world religion. Not necessarily. I believe spirituality is something very personal. Someone else may not even understand what spirituality may mean to you. So, in other words, I would say when it comes to spirituality, it could be that you are a lot more aware of giving back to society what you have gained. So in other words, you might be a volunteer in an orphanage, or maybe it could be stray animals, or it could be maybe helping out in a residential institute for the elderly. It could be many ways that you are giving back to society. And that is also a personal realization about who you are. Hence, it's also spirituality. On an emotional plane, how exactly are you connecting with your life and with others? I think you naturally become you tend to empathize a lot more with people about what they are going through. And perhaps you might feel less obliged or less tempted to be judgmental. Now, if I look at myself, I know that in the past, I was a lot more judgmental, a lot more biased. Not consciously, just unconsciously. For example, maybe if I'm speaking to somebody here who's got pink hair and who has got a lot of maybe tattoos on the face or a lot of skin piercings, I'm not sure how freely I would have spoken to that person. Not that I would have felt I don't want to speak, no. But when it comes to that openness, I'm not sure if I would have been as open as I am today, maybe years ago. So that also is because you're biased. It's because I consider just because a person is very, very different and leading a life so different to mine, I consider that, I'm not sure if I will have much to talk about. Why? A person is a person. Every person is unique. So I think that also makes a huge difference in terms of our emotional connectivity. In case you are someone who is not conscious about how much of interest you need to take about your physical health, when you're on a personal development path, you will become more aware about it. And I think that is also one of the stepping stones into becoming who you are and taking care of yourself better. There was a study conducted, and I'm not sure exactly where the study was conducted. In case you ask me, I'll need to find out. But there was a study conducted where a village was selected, and half of the village women were given contraceptives, while the other half was not. Now, they were observed for a period of 20 years, and it's like saying no prizes for guessing. But the half that had been given contraceptives, the women who were given contraceptives, it was observed that their families, they were more wealthier, their children had undergone education, and they were overall doing well. The women also were healthier. A lot of aspects came into the picture. Whereas those who were not given contraceptives, it was also noticed that they did not enjoy whatever the other group were enjoying. I think this is also for the simple reason that when we are able to empower, give the freedom to women in terms of even family planning, a lot more positive impact is there when it comes to society. Speak in such a way that others love to listen to you, listen in such a way that others would love to speak to you. So I think that's also very, very important. And of course, we come to areas like decision making, leadership, organizing people, prioritizing work, conflict management, and of course, handling stress, which also comes under personal development skills too. And to inspire others and create a positive atmosphere wherever you are, wherever you go.